when should somebody start talking to a broker?
Yeah, I actually, that's a great question. Joe, if you don't mind.
Please.
So when I was working for that small consulting firm, I was at a continuing education conference, and I sat through this presentation by a guy that did middle market and upper middle market transactions as a broker. Great guy. But I remember him saying and asking the audience, okay, when is the right time to begin preparing for your exit? And, you get a couple of answers and not really sure. He said, the right time to prepare your exit is as you are getting in. At the very, very beginning is the right time. And he said, when's the second best time? Yeah.
Now, right?
Right now.
Yeah.
Right. If you haven't done it yet, and it doesn't mean that you have to plan, hey, I'm going to sell this in 5 years.
Sure.
It's hey, what is it that I want to get? To Joe's point, maybe you need to understand when you hit your number, understand, hey, when I get sick of this, or hey, if I start to get distracted, and understand what all of these little pivot points are, and be able to identify, okay, well, what is it that I'm trying to do here? What are my goals? What are my objectives? And to be able to work from that standpoint. So, Joe and I work with people from, beginning to end, wherever that process is, wherever they are in the process. And as soon as you can start talking and thinking about it, it informs your decisions.
Yeah.
It really, really does.
With, okay, so you guys obviously know I have a lot of Amazon sellers in my community, but, there's a good number of them that are just doing retail arbitrage and online arbitrage. And I understand probably, so I know that that's probably not quite as sellable as a private label brand. Is that right?
So I would say it's still sellable.
Okay.
Right. The question is for how much?
Yeah. Well, let's go over it because I want to think, because like I don't talk to a lot of Amazon sellers, because I don't have a private label community like some of these guys you probably talk to, but I want to kind of instill the seed in some of the people listening, like, whoa, I could actually sell my business. That sounds really cool. What do I need to do to get it in a position that's sellable? Because I know some people come into a business thinking I'm going to sell it in 5 or 10 years. A lot of my students are like, I just want to make a few $100 extra a month. Oh, this is working. This is working now. I can quit my job. Holy cow! I just quit my job. What can it be? Selling the business is not always something that I think a lot of them think about. So I love that we're talking because this is going to ignite something in one of them thinking, oh, I can actually sell this thing. What do I need to do now to start turning it into something that is sellable? So is that something, can we like kind of break that down, like numbers or, just how to transition their business? What do they need to start doing? Obviously talk to you is the answer, but like, just some things that for them to start thinking about now to get ready for that exit, or even maybe they're not going to sell it, but at least it's better to have it be ready to sell and decide not to than it to be like, oh, I'd love to be out of this thing. And you didn't do the work to get it there.
Joe, do you want to go ahead and take that one?
Yeah, sure. I think, preparing your business, one of the key things, it's interesting that you passed it off to me because Matt's really good with the numbers, is really making sure that from day one, you're keeping proper track of your financials. You don't have things mixed into different accounts. So as you're growing your business, the financial piece is so critical because it gets the most examination of any buyer. And you want to properly be conveying to any buyer what it is that they're looking at. In other words, what are your cost of goods? Where's your cell phone bill in all of this? How much are you paying yourself? Where's your gas? What are the real costs, fixed expenses or flexible expenses? What's your cost of goods? What's your, Matt, what does Amy call that spreadsheet that we did for her?
The unit economics. Yeah.
What are your unit economics per item? Even if you're doing arbitrage,
okay,
what does that unit cost you? the financials are the first big thing
Okay.
to really start paying attention to.
Okay.
And then the second is the story of the business, it's the strategy. Okay, well, how are we going to best position your business? Is it by review, for your Amazon sellers? Is it by your 5-star reviews? Is it by how many hours a week you're working?
Okay.
Is it about the trends of that particular market segment?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you start to roll up your sleeves and do the things that actually take time. And the sooner you get started on them, the less of a rush you're going to feel, and the easier it's going to be on your own workload. I mean, we carry a lot of the workload. We carry, call it 75, 80% of the workload to get your business sold. But we don't want to do is rush that 20% of what needs to get done in 3 weeks.
Right.
Don't